All right, man. We're rolling
Yeah.
whenever you're ready. Drew, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah. Thing. Like, love it. It's like, you got me down those stairs. Like, that's
Yeah,
bravo,
it's
my man. Bravo.
you're a badass for getting in here, and your approach to getting in here um will make complete sense probably when we talk for a while.
Yeah.
Just your
Yeah. Yeah.
general
Yeah.
approach. Let's start with Eagle Mount. Can you tell me what Eagle Mount does, what you do at Eagle Mount, and we can go.
Oh, dude.
I want to hear more about.
And we'll spread our wings from
Yeah,
there.
beautiful.
Eagle Mount is your local nonprofit adaptive that services the Gallatin Valley, Livingston area, all the way through to Big Sky, um, and like the areas around. We have participants everywhere, but the uh, the motto at Eagle Mount is everyone has challenges, but we have adventures. We service all anyone with a disability, cognitive, physical, anyone who's been affected by cancer, coming through treatments, and veterans. And really, the best thing about Eagle Mount is the holistic value. We have our family engagement for those families that need support. Um, Having a child or a loved one with a disability is no easy task, and having a support system through Eagle Mount and the community that we've created to help people have adventures with some of our physical disabilities, you need extra equipment to do everyday activities that some of us take for granted. I started my whole Eagle Mount journey as a participant, broke my back skiing up at Big Sky in 2018. And then I was skiing with Eagle Mount that following year. My second lesson was the anniversary of my accident. So
Oh
it was
wow.
like a whoa craziness.
Yeah, for sure.
And then later that season, I got quote unquote good enough to volunteer and coach with one of their camps. And then I was hooked. Volunteered with them for a number of years. 2022, we started recreation instructors, recreation assistant positions through Eagle Mount. Before that, it was just three people. You had your director, assistant director, and coordinator. And then this program, with the expansion in 2022, we got 5 instructors, myself and a few other volunteers, some participants that also had similar experience to mine. But yeah, and then now I run our cycling program in the summertime with road biking and mountain biking, and then wintertime help lead our Bridger snow sports out of the old Bridger Bowl.
Very cool.
So that's super fun. Love skiing, love mountain biking. There's couldn't really ask for a better position. It's
Yeah.
kind of lucked out in that. But like I was telling you earlier, everything happens for a reason. I feel like if I didn't get injured, I wouldn't be able to have this fun, cool job where I get to go ski and bike and help facilitate smiles for other people just like me or have had similar situations to me.
Yeah, for sure. How long has Eagle Mount been doing this?
I just looked this up yesterday. So it's 1982.
Okay.
So they just celebrated 40 years, 2022?
Okay, yeah. So 43
Um,
years somewhere in there.
yeah. But started out with Robert and Greta Mathis. General Robert, was in the military, and just both of them had the similar kind of humanitarian need to help others. Uh, Greta, throughout Robert's like military career, started different schools for kids with Down syndrome.
Okay.
And then after Robert retired, they brought kind of that same idea back to Bozeman. And really, how the story goes, it started with a flyer that they put up through town that was like, hey, come up to Bridger and come ski with us if you need any adaptive sports needs. We'll be here next to the ski patrol building or whatever it was. And they were operating out of the back of a Subaru. And I think they were expecting maybe like 30 people to show up, and like 80 to 100 showed up. And it was kind of the light bulb moment of, oh, there's the need for this in our community. And they linked up with a couple of their friends, and through the help of community, fundraising, as well as whatever kind of nest egg they had, they bought our campus over on Goldenstein, started building the pool, and really expanding our adaptive sports portfolio from skiing to horsemanship, aquatics, that family engagement, and Big Sky Kids, which is our kids with cancer or have gone through treatment, or in remission, kind of like young adults. Um, on that same vein of like creating community and support for people who might not have that, or kind of I myself included, because you can't see it, but I'm sitting here in my wheelchair. But having a disability, you're part of a minority that's even smaller than most minorities. So finding someone with a similar kind of situation or life experience is really hard, and you really um, latch on to meeting some. There's kind of an unspoken rule in the wheelchair world of like, oh, you see somebody else in a chair, it's like, make eye contact, say hi, hey, what are you doing? Do you do any fun adaptive sports? Like, you want to go ride bikes sometime? Um, and that kind of thing.
Hi, folks. Quick note from me. If you don't already know, the goal of Mountain Mule Media is to build real connection between Montana's businesses and the people they serve. If this episode or any other has given you something worth thinking about, smiling at, or passing along, I've got a small ask. Share it with a friend, text it to someone, post it in your story. That one simple action helps these businesses get seen, grow, and thrive, and it helps this show keep going. Thank you for supporting these Montana businesses. Now back to the show. Is the family that originated, are they involved in any way?
I don't think either of them are still with us.
Yep.
But a lot of the kind of founding families are still involved, through philanthropy, and even some of their generations volunteer with us through any of our number of programs. But yeah.
The name, do you know the sort of the ethos behind the name Eagle Mount? I understand it's
yeah. So the thing was, we want to mount eagles and spread our wings and fly, to kind of expand the possibilities of adaptive sports and adaptive recreation. Because recreation, I don't know if you know, is kind of a powerful thing and really unites people in a common goal that's not really I don't know, a monetary goal. It's a fun goal. It's not like we're competing to win a football game, but we're out there trying to have the most fun possible.
Yeah, it's freedom.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
freedom and therapy.
Yes.
In the same, all in one shot. I know I could ask you 100 questions, and I'll probably ask you
Yeah,
at
do
least 50.
Do it.
So your injury, you said 2018. How has that been, the whole process been for you? And I've probably already said it 3 times, but your attitude and enthusiasm for life and everything, how are you able to keep that? Is that something you've built, or you were born with, or you superhuman?
Yeah, I was born with a couple screws loose a little bit. Really, and I feel I I cannot speak for everyone who's ever had a disability, or had an accident, but at least from my experience and through the people I've met, the human being is resilient. You put your average Joe in the same predicament situation, you have no choice. You either lay in bed or you get up and go do stuff. And the need to go do more things and explore the possibilities, that you might not have explored before. For instance, like I was a very novice mountain biker before my injury, and now I've made it like my passion and like part of my being. Skiing was already part of me. I was skiing since I was 2 years old, grew up at the bottom of Ski Hill. Um, but really having a support system and knowing the possibilities right after I got hurt was the kind of the biggest thing for me. When I first got back from, they have you go to a rehab hospital where they teach you how to, get in and out of your wheelchair, how to, oh, what if you fall out of your wheelchair? How do you get your wheelchair disassembled into the car? They teach you how to drive, all these fun things. But they also linked me up with a local guy, Dave Poole, who he grew up in Townsend. He was living here in Bozeman. His nickname was Madman Poole. So I was like, oh, got to look up this guy. And meeting Dave and experiencing recreation, just the two of us, like our first experience, we went out mountain biking. I had never mountain biked on an adaptive bike out on dirt before. I'd ridden it in the parking lots and like out on the road, but not on serious dirt. And it's just the two of us. And he is more paralyzed than I am. So he's in a lot of the scenarios, I'm on the ground out of my bike and he's kind of sitting there holding in laughter, like, okay, so I can't help you, but you're going to want to do this and then put your hand here, get up. And having those experiences early on really empowered me to like, do silly things like go down a little flight of stairs into a tiny little basement studio. 'Cause like, the world wasn't made accessible. I mean, there's obvious accommodations that can be made and that should be made, but the world wasn't made for a wheelchair, and there are certain things you do kind of get over.
Yeah.
But that's just from me, my own personal experience. Those with higher injuries or less mobility don't have that luxury of, if I have to, I'll pop out of my wheelchair and I'll crawl up those stairs
Yeah.
and then I'll just have you hold my wheelchair. Like, I don't care. I've done that multiple times. But I have the ability to do that versus some people don't. And that's another beautiful thing about Eagle Mount is it doesn't matter your ability from 0 to 100. If you've never done it, if you were an expert at it and now you're back at square one, if you need special accommodations, equipment. I don't know if you've heard about it, but there is a sit ski and a boat, little sailboat that you can operate with a joystick. So more complex disabilities have the freedom and independence to ski and operate by themselves. I mean, obviously with safety parameters, but independence is the biggest thing with a disability. Like without your assistance, going down those stairs was probably a little sketchy. And for some people that rely on like caregivers, they don't have that independence in all aspects of their life. So in those instances of recreation through like skiing, boating, what have you, biking, they get to have that independence for a small amount of time, but it's still like, it's right there.
Yeah. And you said Dave is the gentleman that you met?
Yeah, Mr. Dave Poole. He works over at Ability Montana,
Okay.
which is another nonprofit. They mostly focus on assisted living and helping people find jobs, legal things if you got injured, really kind of the other side of life with a disability, finding housing, making housing accommodate or accessible, that kind of deal.
When did you said he's in Townsend or he's here?
So he grew up in Townsend and then he lives here in Bozeman.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm trying to pick which question I want to ask you.
Dude, you can write them all down. You can ask them all. I have so much time.
Okay, and you said his injury, he has less mobility than you do.
Yeah, so I am a T10 complete. So if you can imagine just your belly button, drawing like a U shape up it, and everything below that line, I have zero feeling. But the nerves still work. So like my legs will still spasm a little bit. But that's kind of each injury dependent. And then if you have like an incomplete injury, you still have some feeling or sensation or mobility past your level of injury, but it's still impaired. So, for instance, Dave is, I think he's T6 or T4, so he's up closer to his pecs.
Okay.
So he has zero core, which, you need your core to do a lot of these wheelchair things. And then one of our other friends, Rob, he's a incomplete injury L1. So if you can kind of look at a map, you got your C spine, T spine, L spine, and then S. Yes. My mom would be so proud of my medical knowledge.
I'll take your word for it. I'm not going to fact check.
But yeah, so below his injury, he can still kind of move his hip flexors and move his legs a little bit. But yeah, the more you got, and the better off or the easier life is, I should say.
Did you grow up here?
No. So I grew up in Boise, Idaho. And then a couple buddies from high school moved out here and said the skiing was cool. And I was like, that sounds cool. I'm gonna go out there. Sight unseen, was just like, Bozeman, let's do it.
Nice.
Classic. Lived on the couch for a month and a half and then moved into a single wide trailer off of Wilson, where those nice new developments are.
Yeah.
And then so I moved here in 2016 and then broke my back 2 years later. So I've lived in Bozeman now 9 years. So I've had way more experience in the wheelchair here in Bozeman than out of it.
How important do you think it is for you being here with the resources they have with Equal Mount and meeting that gentleman Dave and that stuff?
Really, I think the biggest thing was my friend group that I have here. When I got out of the hospital, when I was in the hospital, when I first broke my back, they had to move me into a bigger room because we had too many visitors. We were clogging up the waiting area. So the nurses were like, of course, we'll just put them in a bigger room. And when I inevitably moved into the house that I live in now, it took longer for us to drive to the storage unit than it did for everyone to take the stuff out of the U-Haul and put it into the house. Like, we're talking full living room, my bedroom, bed, everything. There was probably a crowd of like 10 people, all in like caravan of cars. And that was the biggest thing. And obviously having the support from my family, I always tell the story of like, well, if someone was going to break their back or suffer an injury like this, like, it's better that it was me. Like, my mom's a nurse. My parents definitely have upper middle class jobs, I would say. And my grandmother was able to put in the down payment for the house that I live in now. So it's like I didn't really have to worry about monetary things as much. Mainly just buying adaptive equipment. So going through grants to get all my fun toys. But really the community. Meeting Dave was awesome and showed me that it doesn't matter that I'm in a wheelchair now per se. I can still do things that level the playing field. So sit skiing, for instance, you and I can be out skiing and it doesn't matter that I'm paralyzed. I can still ski probably a little bit better and faster than you.
I'm sure you can.
Well, okay. Well, it sounds like you don't ski that much.
I snowboard, but not a lot.
Yeah, but it's like on the mountain, I'm probably just as good as your above average skier, and it just levels the playing field, and kind of makes it, you're just skiing with your friends at that point. You're not adaptive skiing, per se.
Yeah, that's so cool. I'd imagine that's what I was getting at or asking, that the people around you, the environment you're in is gonna make or break the entire experience of life in general, and especially of life when you have any type of injury like this.
Oh, of course, of course. Like that was the yeah. I'm just so grateful that I had all those wonderful people around me in my time of need. Um, like for instance, one of my best friends, Patrick. He gave up his bed for a month and a half so I could live in his bed or live in his room. So crazy story. The house that I was living in, that I slept on the couch for the first month and a half that I lived in Bozeman, was already wheelchair accessible. It had a ramp in front, it had a roll-in shower and everything. And we all made jokes. We were all laughing, like, "Oh yeah, dude! Like when we become old and gray, like we can just live at Billy's house." And sure enough, we needed it.
Okay, is that where
Not,
you
yeah, not like a month and a half later, or not like a year and a half later. Um, so Patrick, we switched spots where he was sleeping on the couch and I was in his bed.
what a
Um,
guy.
yeah, dude, the man.
Yeah.
And then he ended up moving in the house that I was living in now. He's since moved on and he's getting his doctorate in psychology
Cool.
in Ellensburg, Washington.
Okay.
I don't.
How old are you now?
So I just turned 30 last week.
Cool. Congrats.
Yeah, woo,
Awesome.
yeah, 3-0. Let's go.
Yeah. So I it's Drew that is down there that I talked, or not Drew, it's Bruce that I talked to down there.
Yep, yep.
Okay. I talked to Bruce and I was telling Bruce there's a reason this is near and dear to my heart, because a good friend of mine had an injury somewhere between 2 and 3 years ago. I talked to him on the phone yesterday, told him you were coming on, very excited.
Let's
He
go.
was he was giving me some he was trying to explain to me what he has. He was saying basically below his biceps, he doesn't have much mobility. He he shattered his C4.
Mountain biking,
No, he actually jumped into a pool.
jumping into a pool.
C4, C5. He's going to come out next summer. I'm getting married, and just wondering what he can do, just depending on how mobile he is. But I would love to
Yeah,
have him come
where's he out of?
upstate New York.
Upstate New York. So really look up adaptives in the area. Uh, that was that was another point I was going to make with the coming back to Bozeman thing. It really wouldn't have mattered where I went as long as I had that community with me, because there are adaptives everywhere.
Everywhere in the
Yeah, you just need to know where to look. The quality of those adaptives are it's mainly due to like monetary resources. Um, but yeah, like in upstate New York, I'd have to ask my other buddy Patrick, who works at Ability. He's from upstate New York, and that's where he started his adaptive journey,
Mhm.
volunteering with their ski program. So I'd have to ask him. So we'll be in touch as far as
Cool.
adaptive programs in his area. But it sounds like just impairment on that one arm kind of thing.
I think it's both arms.
Both arms.
Like, and everything, like, it
Well,
has
I
no,
mean, with
and not that,
usually with a C injury, it's
yeah,
probably an incomplete cervical, so he's got impairment to probably both his hands.
yeah, yeah.
So he's probably an incomplete quad.
Because I know he can do stuff when his hands are strapped in. He's been working out. He's getting stronger. I've said it for years now. Like, man, what's like, when I can put you up, will you just come out here and like live out here, and we'll find out what you can do. Because he'd been out here 3 times a visit before the accident. Loves it out here. He's been snowboarding his whole life. He's mountain biking, dirt biking, complete outdoorsman. And I just think it'd be an awesome place for him to be. I think there's places there for him to be, and he's obviously near family, but he's coming next summer for the
mhm.
wedding anyway, so I'd love to do something fun while he's here,
Yeah.
depending on what can happen.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, we'll be in touch. And I extend this to all of like my adaptive anyone's. Even if I haven't met you quite yet, as long as you can vouch for him. But my house is fully accessible and I've got extra rooms.
Okay.
So like depending on what his needs are, accessibility wise, you know, I stay at my house.
Might be hitting you up next summer.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
He's
like
coming for the wedding.
and like that's kind of the my duty almost, not like a duty, but another unspoken rule of like having a disability or being in a wheelchair is like obviously advocating for accessibility and advocating for yourself and, you know, the lowest common denominator for like your buddy who doesn't have as much hand function. Um, like you just do it for the next guy. And like, if you see someone, struggling out on the ski hill or, um, someone coming up in the adapt, like fresh off an injury, um, it's like you're kind of called to duty to you're you're part of the gang, man. Like you've joined our club. Um, my buddy Tommy will contest to that. He's our freshest injury. He broke his back mountain biking 3 summers ago. But yeah, right when he got hurt, his sister called up Dave and called up Eagle Mount and was like, "Hey, my brother just got hurt. Like, what are the possibilities? What are the who can he talk to?" And Dave, my mentor, immediately hit him up and was like, "Hey, adaptive sports. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do stuff. We're gonna go skiing. We're gonna go mountain biking. We're gonna go do the whole thing." And now Tommy has kind of taken that role to one of our kind of younger participants who's a young adult coming up, same kind of situation in a wheelchair, but taking on that kind of mentorship role. And with that, you not only get to watch the growth of the person you're mentoring, but you also get to grow from just learning mistakes on how not to mentor or what methods worked best.
Yeah, I'd imagine it helps a lot get you out of your own head about yourself because you're worried about helping somebody else, and that
Yes,
seems to be
yes.
a great antidote to, you know,
Oh God,
any type of misery.
yeah, it's so much easier to take care of somebody else's problems than to deal with your own. Oh, crazy.
Tell me about it.
Hey, no. I always catch myself doing that through my work, through just advocacy and doing all the things. And you know, you gotta give yourself a break
Yeah.
a lot of the time. Working on it, still working on it.
We all are. I just had them pulled up. So Matt is a huge hunter.
Oh hell yeah,
And if
yeah,
there's a couple there that he sent yesterday.
yeah, dude,
So I know he's gotten out with the crossbow, and
yeah,
he's like you, he's got some great friends that we grew up with and have done a lot.
yeah,
And it's I know when he can get outside. The guy lives to be outside. That's like if he had a preference,
yeah,
if he had to live indoors or out, he'd choose out.
yeah.
I know one of the toughest things for Matt is he can't regulate his body temperature.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
That's a big quad thing.
that's always the tough thing when it's, too cold or too hot. And I don't know, I don't know what can be done or I'd
Really,
imagine.
it's like preparation, kind of layering appropriately, as well as kind of like testing your body, not obviously to the extremes, but like testing outfits, like seeing combinations of outerwear. I know me personally, when I'm out skiing, I overlayer. I would rather have my legs kind of sweaty than not. And a lot of times with paralysis, you tend to not sweat or perspirate below your injury. Or like with your friend, he probably doesn't sweat anywhere that he can't feel.
Hmm.
Um, so that helps. But I always like to err on the side of caution and just put on as many layers as possible. For sure on my legs, my arms and that I can feel, as well as relying on other people's kind of reports. Like if I'm snowboarding with you and you're like, dude, my feet are getting cold, I know my feet are getting cold. Like you're moving your toesies around. Mine are
Yeah,
just
yeah.
sitting there, just getting snowed on. Um, so trying stuff and trying to be proactive. So if you feel yourself getting a little bit cold, stopping, realizing that, With me personally, if I get too cold or like if the blood temperature in my legs drops too low, it'll cool my whole body down and I'll have the shivers where it's like the warm blood from my upper body will go down to my legs, cool down, and then it's like this whole just shiver process. And with higher injury quads, there's this thing called autonomic dysreflexia where pretty much your the parts below your body that can't feel, there's something going on. Either you're too hot, too cold, you're sitting on a rock, your leg bag is twisted. There's a number of things, but your body doesn't know what to do, so it just starts firing off signals to your brain where it spikes your blood pressure, really makes you lightheaded, gives you those shivers and all that. And it's just not a fun time, but me, I'm lucky and I don't have that. So really just trying to be proactive in the cold, not
Yeah, that makes
getting
sense.
too cold. The too hot thing is easy because a lot of the quads that I know, they'll go out and get like the weed killer sprayers and they'll just fill those with water and they'll use that as like an artificial perspirant.
Mhm.
And that's always fun. Or just like cold towels in a cooler placed over the neck. But also talk to your buddy about when he looks up different adaptive snow sports in upstate, see if he can find what it's called. It's literally called the snow cart.
Okay.
So
Snow cart.
yeah, I'll show you some pictures. But it's probably the most independent device for him to use. Like there's just kind of depending on how much tricep he has, makes the biggest difference with sit skiing. But with the snow cart, really, if we can strap your hands to it and you got a little bit of shoulder function, you can pilot that bad boy. But yeah, you'll have to, when your buddy comes out, he'll have to come join us for trivia.
Yeah.
So we have our group called the Roll Models, like ROLL,
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
and most of us are in chairs.
Mhm.
And that's like the fun community that we've raised here. And Dave started that whole thing.
I got a note of that too. I'm gonna send him this when I put it out too, and I think he'll enjoy it.
Oh, I love that. Let's see. Where is this cute little thing? Yeah, we're working on the funding for one, but of course, all adaptive equipment is the most expensive. This cute little thing is 15 grand. But yeah, there's me in a tutu and my buddy George in the snow cart.
Oh, nice.
So you like strap your hands to it, and then it has 2 bars that go down to the skis, so you can manipulate the. Have you skied before you snowboarded?
Never.
Oh God! So you're not gonna get it, man. Do you understand like the pizza French fry concept?
I understand the pizza
Yeah. Okay.
concept.
So you
'Cause, yeah.
you can pizza French fry with that bad boy.
Okay.
But yeah, and you can do it independently, ish. Like obviously you need people helping you to get it on and off the chairlift, and just for safety, have somebody behind you as like an anchor. They just ski behind you with like a slack rope, just in case you're gonna run
Yeah.
into anything, because that's like a 150-pound piece of metal plus the person in it.
Yeah. Yeah, and depending on what you're on. You guys do all your stuff at Bridger.
Bridger, Big Sky, and the Yellowstone Club.
Very cool. Do you have any tips as far as, dealing with I know you touched on a lot with your friends being around you, but just dealing with the, mentally how do you deal with that? You were fully mobile and then you're immobile to some.
Yeah.
Is there anything you used other than the great community and the resources that was helpful for you just dealing with it mentally? Because every time I talk about it, it's to me it's in theory because I'll never understand it in that extent, but I always want to understand it more.
And so it's like I was kind of born with a couple screws loose kind of deal. I definitely had a lot of really low days when I first got hurt. but it was really a lot of like, what is the next challenge? I kind of thought of it. Um, oh, easy, actually. Answer to your question. Being in the rehab hospital, you're not only there with paraplegics like myself, you're there with quadriplegics, as well as people with traumatic brain injuries. So really the perspective of like it could be so much worse. So you have no excuse. Like there's guys down there whose hands don't work and they're still getting up every day and still trying to like piece their life back together. So you have no excuse. My so not funny enough, my uncle 2 years before I broke my back broke his neck mountain biking and became a quad. So I had like a tiny bit of experience with a family member in a chair, but I didn't think that it was like, oh, I'm the next one.
Yeah.
But we were the two rowdiest members of the family, just in two different generations. He was 54 when he broke his neck, riding mountain bikes with people in their 30s. So he was kind of badass. I was just skiing too fast in the trees and just went.
Yeah, how this happened to Matt was such a bummer and a freak thing, but he is also crazy.
Yeah, it's
He's the guy that he was lawless and he would, when he was on whether it was a dirt bike, a snowmobile, a mountain bike, a snowboard, he'd push it and he was good. Like,
yep,
you know
yep.
what I mean? He
That's what gets us in trouble every time.
yeah, so but how this happened in a pool was a total freak thing, but it's like, yeah, Matt's pretty that's the last way you'd expect it. But you're
Yeah,
also like, yeah, he's pretty lawless, so checks
yeah.
out.
Like exa- I knew it was looking back on my life, it was going to happen sooner or later, whether it was going to be a car accident, mountain biking, skiing, some sort of silly thing. Um, Believe it or not, most people in wheelchairs or who have sustained spinal cord injuries are dudes, and they were doing something stupid, and that's how they got in the chair or a car accident.
Yeah.
Um, like Dave skiing, me skiing, Tommy mountain biking, Rob with Rob's car accident, um, George, the other quad who I was showing you in the snow cart, he was diving into a pool. Um, a lot of people diving into it literally says don't dive into the shallows.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing those guys tackle the world, it makes you or gives you the kind of motivation and strength to like get up, go do something. Uh, you have this, like, be thankful for what you have. You have these gifts, be thankful for them.
I I can't speak from the perspective of the injury, but if you'd ask me, one of the things I always think or my mentality is there's got to be a way. And I think the human spirit is so powerful. I don't know where that came from, but I will always try to find a way. And I've like I've realized more in hindsight that part of my life is just trying to like see what the potential for a human is in the best way
Yeah,
possible. Because I think the things we go through and the resolve we have is it's mind blowing.
exactly. Like we all go through different struggles where like we cannot put ourselves into each other's shoes, whether we want whether we want to believe that or not. Like and the resilience of the human spirit. People have gone through crazier things than I have. Um, like thinking through or so from the perspective of somebody who got injured in a car accident, um, the trauma of being in a vehicle, we all have to drive to get to wherever we're going. Um, and then in some of our adaptive sports, some of our crashes feel like those car crashes and can potentially bring you back to that instance. Um, so like bravo human beings.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just another perspective or another thing that I'm just grateful for is like I have these things and I mean, I did it to myself. Like, I don't have anyone to blame at the end of the day. Like, I don't have any remorse or regret. Um, I mean, obviously, there's a teeny tiny bit of regret. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I've gotten to go travel not the world, but well, the world. I've been to Canada a couple times for adaptive reasons. Um, but like for instance, I leave next week to go ride a bike down from Santa Rosa to San Diego with the Challenged Athletes Foundation, staying at fun 5-star hotels and getting massages the whole time, all in the name of raising money for adaptive equipment. And it's like, would I be able to do that as an able body? Probably not.
How many miles is that bike race?
Oh, 680. Well, it's not a race. It's just a ride.
Okay.
It's an experience because you get to ride with like 30 other adaptive athletes and then 100 other, like they're not volunteers, but other fundraisers. The whole thing is your entry fee is you have to raise X amount of dollars to go do the race. So all of these people have raised money for adaptive sports and are now riding their bike to raise more money for adaptive sports, which is just super fun because you're surrounded by a bunch of people with the kind of same mindset mentality of helping one another.
That's badass.
It's kind of cool. Like,
it's like 2 or 3 weeks you're out there.
So yeah, because I'm driving down, travel time, it's going to take 2 days to get down there, 2 days to get back. And then the ride is 8 days long, and then it culminates with a triathlon on that weekend. So we ride in on a Friday into La Jolla, and then there's like a community weekend with the challenged athletes. So they do a couple camps, surf camp, tennis, blind soccer, just a bunch of cool activities for people to get to know each other and get to know other adaptive athletes. And then the triathlons on Sunday. And we do like a little ride of that.
So cool.
So that'll be super fun. And then drive home. Wee.
And what do you drive?
Toyota Tacoma.
Okay, and that's rigged up so everything's just hand controlled.
Oh yeah, it's super easy. Really, if you have a mechanic who's worth their salts and knows what they're doing, they can install hand controls. Or as Dave would like to say, dude, you can just drive with a ice scraper, man. Like I did that for years. Which is just so stupid. And like literally scraper hitting the pedals while he's driving because his legs don't work.
You're like case in point of like,
yeah,
this is the mentality that gets people injured.
Yes, exactly.
What year is that truck? So like
that one's like a 2020.
Okay, so there's just, I'd imagine Toyota makes or somebody third party makes stuff.
Yeah, third party just makes. Mine are just mechanical hand controls, so they're just literally 2 rods that go down behind the pedals to hit the gas and the brake, and then it's just you pull the lever towards you to hit the gas, and then away from you to hit the brakes.
Okay,
and then it's enough out of the way that you could drive my car without using the hand controls. The bar would kind of hit you in the leg a little bit, but like you'd get over it. But the most adaptive part about my car is it's the access cab. So the doors open up like the butterfly. Mm-hmm. So it's easier to take your wheelchair in and out of it.
Nice.
Eventually, I mean, I should get a bigger truck so that I don't have to take my wheelchair apart. A lot of people just go with a minivan and just open that back little slider door and just whip your chair into the back of the van and then hit the buttons to close the doors. And then it has enough space if you take the seats out to put like your adaptive bike, your sit ski, whatever, what have you. And that'll be the next purchase is a Sprinter van. If I get the money, if I find my Yellowstone club wife.
Smart. My buddy Matt's got a truck. It's a Colorado, and both the doors, the the rear door and the front
Yeah,
door.
he does the flip up and then the
Yeah.
seat comes down.
Yeah, and it comes down and his chair rolls right up in it. And it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
lifts the chair back in.
Sick.
Very cool. He doesn't drive that. I think it'd be another massive thing if they wanted to set one up to drive. But like you said, it's an expense thing at that point, and those are several $100,000 for
Oh
that setup.
heck yeah.
Yeah.
I mean so like George, my buddy, he has in his car, the driver's seat is taken out completely, and it's just like a pin system where his wheelchair just rolls up and clicks into the pin.
Okay.
And then he just puts his thing down and then straps his hand to the wheel and the throttle and just takes off.
That's probably similar to Matt's in the sense that there's no passenger seat and this lift sits right in there. It's very cool that stuff exists.
I mean, dude, they're going to have self-driving cars in like the next couple years, so he can sit in the passenger seat and just have somebody have AI drive it around.
That's what I was going to ask you. How much do you keep an eye on all the technology that evolves for this stuff?
I have my eye more on the latest and the greatest of adaptive equipment as far as like what are the advances in adaptive biking, adaptive skiing. My thoughts are medical advances are going to take far longer than technological advances. I'm thinking I'm going to have robot legs by the time I'm like 50, where it'll just be like an exoskeleton that just goes over your legs, and then you have like a gyroscope where you lean forward, it walks you forward, lean back, leans you back, and then you could have like a little wristwatch that sits you down or lays you down. But like how it's been explained to me as far as the intricacies of the spinal cord and repairing it, especially years and years post-injury. They've had the greatest success with subjects that are injured and then repaired lickety-split, like super quickly. Like me, I'm 8 years out of injury, so it's definitely not. We're not putting together all those it's a bunch of tiny little fibers all stacked together and connected that control different little nerve cells throughout your body. Which crazy, it's beyond me. But robot legs, I can understand that. And that's attainable. And I've seen that. They have like kind of like walking frames or like exoskeleton suits, but those have like very big limitations. Like these, eventually it's going to be just a pair of pants that you put on.
Yeah.
And it's like, boom, we're out there.
It's crazy to think about. You can let your mind run wild, and it's with the advancements in technology, it's cool to think of, because I've heard things about people that can't see that they can do. There's different eyes and stuff that they're developing and all kinds of stuff. And that's so cool to think that we could bridge those gaps at some point.
Oh yeah. Like there was one dude who was trying to do so they have those glasses that have the cameras on the outside. So what it does is it also has a camera on the inside that scans your eyes. Say you need glasses. These are a pair of glasses that anyone can put on. It just scans what prescription you need, and it transposes the world outside into the prescription that you need so that you can see.
Talk about rose-colored glasses.
Dude, even
that's wild.
Yeah, man, craziness. And just like how we have the technology where they're slicing open your eye, taking the lens out and putting a new one in. Like when you get old, like hope for cataracts. If you have bad vision right now, hope for cataracts. I was an optician for a couple years before I started full time at Eagle Mount. Like right after I got hurt, I was unemployed for like a year and a half. My mom was like, you need to go to school. You need to get a profession or a trade or a real job. And it was right after COVID, so everyone was hiring, and I just hopped on Craigslist, and this beautiful man named Dr. Jeff Squire was hiring in Eyes on Main for an optician. They're like, you don't need experience, we'll train you. I don't even wear glasses or contacts or any of that stuff. But they were able to give me enough knowledge, and I'm a personable enough person that I can like talk you through most things. And like, I mean, as long as you're willing to learn or you have the thirst for knowledge, like learning is easy.
Yeah. And I guess that like that's a cool thing too, regardless of your whatever injury you're through. If you do have your mind, because you were talking about that with people that have brain injuries, if you have your mind, you can do the human mind is the
It's you. That's
yeah.
you.
And that's everything we have now as a result of that. And you have that. So it's like I said, I'm saying it not from someone in that position, but sometimes I just lay in bed at night with my eyes closed and I'm like, this thing is wild. Like
Yeah.
the
Oh,
things I can
dude.
think about and do and
The fact that we have cognition,
yeah.
the fact that we're just floating on this rock that's circling another big old rock of gas and heat, it's craziness.
It's wild.
I mean, like, I'm not a believer in like deities per se, but like, there was a force that made this world the way that it is, or there's something out. The world is too perfect, and we have too much. We know too much that this didn't happen on accident.
Yeah, it blows my mind
There's
when I
no
think
way.
about it.
Like, oh my God. Like, there was allegedly a big bang, and then it just boom. And then we just evolved from monkeys to have now conversations where we're making sounds and we're able to perceive those sounds into knowledge
And
and
then we
pass
can
that
send
knowledge.
this out to the world.
Oh my God. And it's being recorded
Yeah.
for other people to listen to. Oh my God.
Yeah, we're lucky and it's wild.
Yeah.
We get back to Eagle Mount.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is who are the biggest supporters? How does Eagle Mount get all its funding? How can people support it if they want to?
That is the best question. So, Eagle Mount is unique where it's pretty much community funded. We don't take any money from the federal government or organizations like that. It's really down to the community in Bozeman and those families that started it all, as well as new donors and new people um, latching on and kind of joining us in the pursuit of adaptive sports and the pursuit of giving everyone the chance for adventure. Yeah, it's all the people of Bozeman, the people of Livingston, the people of Big Sky, and beyond. It's just the power of people is what supports Eagle Mount, as
That's so
well
cool.
as we're mostly a volunteer ran organization. Most of our ski instructors are all volunteers. It's like, I think the number was close to 900 volunteers throughout the whole of Eagle Mount through horsemanship, aquatics, and all that. And really, it's just fundraising events like we have the Crystal Ball Gala coming up. That's a big one, big fundraiser, as well as Western Rendezvous. And we kind of started a summer concert series as another kind of fundraiser. But yeah, it's really community is what keeps us alive.
That's so cool. Do you guys have anything specific coming up that you need volunteers for? Is it always something you
Oh
guys
my
are in need
gosh, I'm
of?
so glad you asked. So
I thought Bruce mentioned something.
yeah, so there's this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful program at both Bridger and Big Sky for skiing. And you don't even have to be a good skier, bad skier, even snowboarders. I know it hurts me. But come join us for some ski lessons. We have all of our information is on the website, eaglemount.org. All you got to do is just fill out a volunteer application, pass a background check, and bam, you're good to go. Our first trainings start at Big Sky the 13th of December, 11th of December. It's like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday deal, or a Saturday, Sunday, Monday deal. But we were just talking about technology. We have this beautiful thing called the Point app. It's literally point like you're pointing at somebody, and then app like appetizer. And with that app, you're able to join Eagle Mount as an organization, and you can see all of the volunteer opportunities throughout the entire organization. We have, through our family engagement, we have arts and horticulture that are always doing stuff. Right now it's winterizing the garden. You can always catch our guys and gals and everyone's at the farmer's market selling succulents and
Okay.
potted plants. And yeah, the Point app has everything on it as far as opportunities, and then what you kind of need for those different opportunities, like skiing, obviously bring your helmet and some skis and some boots. And for our volunteers, like if you don't have your own equipment, the Roundhouse, which is another big partner, donor, supporter, sponsor. That's another thing, is the organizations around town like GVLT, Owen House, Roundhouse, Big Sky Resort, Bridger. All of those organizations really help Eagle Mount and support Eagle Mount in our pursuit as well. Like for volunteers who don't have any equipment or need equipment, they can go to the Roundhouse and get 50% off of year-long rentals.
Oh, nice.
So that's a pretty good deal. And it's like another incentive for volunteering with our ski program is you teach 4 lessons and you get a voucher to use at your leisure.
Nice.
It's not like transferable between mountains. Like you can't do 2 lessons at Big Sky and 2 lessons at Bridger and then get a Big Sky pass. But the hack is you sign up to volunteer for a morning or an afternoon lesson. So there's like 2 lesson sessions a day, and they're 2 hours long. And what you do is you get a pass for the whole day. So just go and volunteer for the morning, ski in the afternoon, or like ski like lunchtime, and then come back, do your lesson in the afternoon, do that twice, and you have a ski pass.
That's
2 day, 2 day.
yeah.
You give us 2 days, we give you 1 day. I feel like that's a pretty great exchange. As well as like, you'd be surprised at how much joy you experience by watching someone experience joy, or like watching it click, learning how to ski or snowboard or sit ski, or just like a lot of our participants have cognitive and behavioral disabilities. So for some of these participants, getting them out on snow and getting them out experiencing kind of sensory overload to the biggest extent and helping them overcome challenges is very powerful, and it brings joy to your day, even if you're just like sitting in the snow making snowballs. Giving another person time and space for them to experience life and grow just really makes you feel good too.
Yeah.
So volunteer.
Yeah,
and it's just fun to ski.
Yeah, if you don't get enough joy out of just helping those people and then get some runs in for the day, that's a great reason enough. If you
want to get into sit ski, I'll teach you how to sit ski. One of our trainings for our volunteers is intro to sit skiing.
Yeah, there's more than enough reasons, and there's so many people out here that ski. So
and we have Eagle Mount has recreation opportunities for everyone. Like, if you just want to garden or you just want to pull weeds and kind of like be in your own zone, we have that. If you want to come out on our summer camp adventures, we go ziplining, rafting, camping, kayaking, all the fun summer stuff, climbing, ice skating. Really, if you have a recreation passion that you want to share with someone, we have opportunities for you to share that with somebody.
You said equine too?
Yeah, equine. Oh yeah, all the
Very
horses
cool.
and the swimmings.
Oh yeah,
There's too many. We have too many opportunities.
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So cool. So if anyone wants to get involved, they can get that app. They can go on your guys' website.
Yep.
Is that Eagle Mount?
Eaglemount.org.
Eaglemount.org. Cool, man. This is I've said this a couple times already, but I appreciate you. I love your energy. I love what you're doing. Is there anything else you'd want to say to anyone, or any words of wisdom you got?
I don't have any words of wisdom. I gotta keep all the wisdom for myself. I don't have much of it. But at least from this platform, I can really extend a thank you to everyone who supports Eagle Mount, everyone who supports the Challenged Athletes Foundation, GVLT. Really, it's all those people brought together, whether you're a volunteer, whether you're a donor, it's everyone's hands together that lift us all up. And it's just a thank you to all of our volunteers, all of our supporters, and just let's pray for snow, baby.
Yeah.
We got some.
There's some in the bridges.
We got a tiny bit. We got a tiny bit.
Cool, man. Thanks again. It's great meeting you. And,
oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to keeping.
Dude, till next time. Till next summer.
Going. Yeah. And yeah, let's.
Seriously.
Talk about summer stuff.
I am very serious, and we're trying to. I've got a bunch of wish list items, but the next adaptive mountain bike that I want to buy, or that I want Eagle Mount to buy, is a 4-wheeled quad bike. So your buddy would mob that thing.
Okay.
And potentially, depending on what, does he have one of those track chairs, like the big old chair with the
yes,
like a tank?
Yep.
Okay, so he's good there. But with this bike too, he can potentially take his rifle out, and it has a nice roll bar, so you could put like a little gun mount on there.
Nice.
And just and then you could potentially expand the hunting area access. But really, dude, whatever he wants. That's the best thing about Eagle Mount, is we meet you wherever you're at and wherever your goals set you. If you want to be the best skier on the mountain, we'll try our best to get you to the best skier on the mountain, or as close as we can. Or if you want to just have fun.
You said it now too, so it's going to be released out into the ether about that bike.
Yeah.
So
if anyone's out there listening, it is the Bowhead Ranger. It is the top of the line, the latest and the greatest in adaptive mountain biking.
If you send me a link, I'll put it in the description for this video.
Heck yeah.
So if anyone's like, hey, you know what?
Yeah, of course. If they got $20,000 just burning a hole in their pocket, or they need a tax write-off.
Two birds.
Or they just want to support the dream of a cute little Drew.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Come on, people.
Come on, do it.
All right, man. This has been a blast.
Oh, dude.
Awesome getting to know you.
Till next time, man.
All right, man. Thanks
for beauteous. Absolutely beauteous.
Thanks for listening, folks. You can find the full blog post for every episode, along with key takeaways and links, at mountain-mule.com. If you haven't yet, consider following the show. That one small action helps these Montana businesses get seen, grow, and thrive, and it helps this podcast keep going too. If you know a business that would be a good fit for the show, we'd love to hear from you. Just reach out through the website or social. Thank you for supporting these Montana businesses. See you on the next show.